And so today I just want to see, what is in the room. So who's in the room, and what you guys need. So I'm going to really, really need your participation today. You to unmute, you to talk. Let's talk it out. What's the mindset in between, in behind the form one? Like, where are you at? It's the you know, like a little bit over the halfway mark of the month. Let's really come in and chit chat and open our mouth so we can really get the breakthrough we need here. So
Hey Britt, I'm gonna go. So morning y'all. All right, so I actually was challenged. I listened to Pastor Todd's service from yesterday, and for like I know like we write the vision down, make a plan, right? But I was challenged in his sermon, and it was like I didn't write down everything that I have vision for, and it's like he really challenged, like, what do you have the vision for? And it's like I didn't write down the vision for my health. Like, oh yeah, I wrote down like I want to lose a certain amount of weight, but I didn't write down like other aspects of my health and things like that, including the business. Yeah, I wrote down I want to be Ambassador Diamond. I have a vision for being an Ambassador Diamond, but I didn't write down specifics. Like, and one of the things that I was challenged was like, well, what am I envisioning for this week? What am I envisioning for this month? Like, you have a generalized, but really being specific and really sitting and like getting clarity on. So I know for me, this week and even like today, I'm setting time aside where it's like, let me get even more clear. Like, not just the long term, not just the big things I have hope for, just but even the small things. Like, let me get clear, right? Let me get clear on what today is looking like, and not just leaving it in my head or like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let me write it down. Let me be obedient in that. And so I know that even though the big things I know, the stuff that I've already written down, like there's more that I need to do. And there's more I need to write down. There's more, and more clarity, right? Not just aimlessly walking. And so I'm gonna be humble and transparent. I need to write down like the vision, what I have for this week. I need to actually write it down. Not just like, oh yeah, I wrote it down last week. I know, no, like actually write it down. Like write it down, and be specific in those things and make that time even longer than what I give in the morning. Like, I know I need this week, I need to give God more time. Like, I know that. So that's me.
thank you for sharing that. It's kind of like what I say all the time. Like, you have to be really, really crystal clear. Like, if you have an ambiguous goal, like it's too ambiguous and you have no clear direct aim or target, you're just all over the place and you're shooting at a too grand of a target or too grand of a goal. And so when you break things down and you get really, really specific, it really does change the way you move and shake. Just going back to, I always say, or use the example about when me and Rachel talked about, what I really wanted the business to do for me. It was like I had to get really, really clear, really, really specific. And then that changed the way that I move because I know exactly what I'm fighting for. When it's too like grandiose and just all over the place, it's like you almost feel like it's unattainable. But if you can get real clear, then it does something about your work ethic. So I'm glad that you decided to go ahead and really get specific, not just say I want this, but what does that look like? You know. So good, Cass.
Good morning. So I'm kind of like what Cass has said, going off of that and being real intentional about my goals of what I want and what I want to do for the week. Like last week I didn't get to make it on Monday meetup because I was sick, but now I'm still sick. So I was pushing myself today to actually go no matter what. So it doesn't matter if you're sick or people have lost loved ones that's sitting there still showing up. So I'm being very intentional about showing up and keeping in touch with my upline, and just finding out what my life is like for me. And like what Cass said, really reading and trying to get clarity on, because I'm in a process of making my dream board, but I talked to my upline about it. And I have 2 words that like keep reigning in me, which is like no procrastination and consistency. So really, and then I've been reading up on scriptures about that. So trying to get clarity of that, what I actually want, and writing things down, being more intentional about doing my work, sending my messages, things. Also really working on that spiritual development, because that's what really helps me to push through in the personal part, to keep my mind together, staying in touch with the team and staying next to the fire, making sure that I bring myself more into the rooms. I've been working on getting up earlier in the morning like I used to, because I got lax in myself. So now I'm getting my body back to waking up early in the morning and getting the day started before my children and things get up. So really just broadening out that to find myself and see what I actually want. Cause I have some dreams. I have them wrote down, but like I talked to Shanice about it and she was like, well, can you do it? And I know y'all usually say, write a dream down that scares you, because if it scares you, then it's something that you can push for. So she's like, well, can you do those things? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. Well, find something. Those them are kind of like little mini goals, but like find some actual dreams. So that's what I've been working forward to.
Hey, Sierra, have you ever did the journal prompt? What do you want and why? I want you to do that for this next week. Journal every morning. What do I want and why?
All right.
Next.
I'll go. The question is like, what do we want, or where's the goal for us? That's what we're talking
No, it's
about.
just really what's on your heart, what's
Oh,
pressing. Like, what do
okay.
you need?
Well, for me, I know I've been realizing and noticing my effort I've been doing versus when I first started. I now, like, every morning, like, again, like I said last time, I've been getting up early. Like, it could be 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, like on my off days. And then I find myself doing like spiritual development and personal development. I find myself starting to take more notes and doing the podcast and stuff. And it's really like helped me to like create my mind and see how like it's like a really good tool that I'm using to be a part of this business. Also, it's just like, for instance, right now I do work and I have a night shift job at FedEx, and like I know right now I know my goal right now is for like I want to grow in this business. I want to grow my mindset to the point where I am like at a good rank to where not only I can help other people and bring in other people and have income, I want to be able to do it full time to where I don't have to worry about ever working again. But right now, because I know that's just not it right now for me, I am still working. So I'll be thinking like, what can I do? Like taking the initiative steps to see what I can do to still be a part of the business. So I sat down and I wrote out my planner like I know I don't get off until 10 in the morning. And we can't have our phone at work, because if that was the case, I would have my phone at work. I wouldn't even care. But when I get off, I made it to, I know I can't make prayer. I know I can't make it up to Monday meeting or the meeting during the rest of the week. So what I do is I pretty much plan that I'm going to do my spiritual development and my personal development around 11 to 12, and then do my power hour for myself around 12. And no matter how tired I get from working from midnight to 10 in the morning, I'm not going to just, okay, go to sleep and get rest. I'm going to do that first and then get my sleep. I'm coming up with ideas to where with my reels, my Instagram, I have not used my Instagram, but I'm starting to use it more. And once I'm able to send out messages, once I'm free to message, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just shy from speaking. I don't usually speak, and I'm trying to get out of that. So I apologize, y'all. I see. I just see basically a growth that I haven't got my loyal customers in a while, but I still have that mindset where I know it's the reason why I'm not getting it because I have to grow my skills. I have to grow my mindset, and I'm not giving up because I know I can do it. Like I know I can do it. Like I'm just that type of person when I want to do something, I have to teach myself and discipline myself, and I will get on it. So it might not be my time right now, but just like I listened to Cami Pentecost podcast, and it really like for me see that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I just got that in my head. Like it's not about if, it's about when. And because I know right now it might not be the time, but it's just about when. And I'm gonna keep going. So
it's always the time. Don't speak. It's not the time. It's the time, girl.
Yes, so yeah.
But yes, like you said in the comments, just keep swimming, and every season of your business is going to look different. So if we were talking about this on Saturday, the things that you have to be consistent with, and the things that you have to get done is SDPD, PMF. You have to be brave, patient, and consistent, but everybody's life is different. It looks different. So the way that you operate your business may look different in different seasons, and just across the board. And so your business doesn't have to look a specific way in order for you to be successful. You just have to make sure that you do the things. You just keep swimming. And so give yourself grace, pat yourself on the back that you've decided that you are going to figure it out. You are going to make it work, and just keep swimming. So I love that.
Thank you.
Who's next? It's 34 people on here.
I'll happily just giving some people some time to talk. So for me, this week, I was struggling / opportunity. Things I had to overcome was where I am right now in where I am right now versus where I want to go. So I have very, very ambitious goals. Like I have very big dreams and visions and things like that. And so what I see on a day-to-day basis, it was bothering me. It was like, I got in my head. I was like, listen, look, I am red green, y'all. So go with me. I'm very competitive in nature. I'm very analytical. I will analyze. Well, somebody said like, you will analyze an ant. I will, whatever. It's me. Like statistically trending. I was like, oh, this is not looking the way that it is. Like I was literally getting in my head, like, okay, to the point where like, I couldn't even find something that I could speak on like a gratitude and like what I get to. I had lost sight of that for a second, not a long time, but I had lost sight of it to the point where it's affecting me in doing my business. And so what I had to do was started to focus on gratitude, like focus on what I'm grateful for, what I can do right now in this space. Like I get to do this. I get to get up and dictate my schedule. I get to get up and, work my business from my phone. I get to, be in a place where I can go with my friends on a Saturday and enjoy, have fun, take pictures and still work my business. Like I get to not be stressed out and go to a job, and be like at work for like 10 hours and then have to go home and be called back to work. Like I had to really shift my perspective on what I get to do and keep me in a place of gratitude, right? Because it's like, God does not operate in my abilities. He does not operate in my abilities. What I lack, he makes up for, right? So it's like, fix your mind. Like I really had to have that time with myself. Like, you know, he's made I'm made perfect he's made perfect in my weakness, right? Like he's strong, he's big, he's capable, he's more able than I can ever imagine. He's gonna do things, he's done things. So why am I allowing what I see to even have any vote, right? Like your emotions, right? Like basically that's what it was. I was in my emotions, like, look, this ain't happening. Like I ain't got no lawyer customer. I need a DT. I need a friend. Like one of my friends at Jesus. Like I was literally like having that moment, and I was like, okay, refocus, stay in gratitude, like keep going forward because he's not a God that's going to tease you. He's not a God that's going to have you have these big dreams and these big things and these visions and be like, oh, okay, just playing. No, he's not going to do that. So keep being and staying the course and being consistent with what I know to do. And I was even telling Brittany this morning, I was like, I'm telling you that I'm sending out at least 200 messages a day. That's for me, because I know that's what made me successful in my business, in how I move. And I was like, and I'm telling you, so hold me accountable. So I'm like, that's what I'm doing. So it's like, I had my moment, but I was like, all right, I'm done with that. You know, so that's something that I had to deal with this week. I had to overcome, and I'm excited for just the shift to happen, and for it to happen suddenly, because I know he's able to do it in an instant. So that's what I'm expecting this week.
That was good. That was so good. Okay. It reminds me of the conversation we had on Saturday with leadership, and just not minimizing the blessings that God has already done, because you are so wrapped up in not being where you exactly desire to be at this moment. And so staying in a place of gratitude, because he giveth but he take it away if you want to be ungrateful. So staying in a place of gratitude and really being loud about, because this is something that was brought to my attention, that I'm living a blessed life that nobody can see. So even just being loud about where I am right now and where he's brought me from, and then, you know, just speaking on where he's taken me, and keeping that at the forefront. And so that was so good. Just really being grateful about what you have now, knowing that he's going to do greater, knowing that he's going to come through, knowing that no matter what it looks like, he said what he said. So that's good, Robin.
Hey y'all, happy Monday. So I watched Transformation Church yesterday, and the sermon was really, really good. But the thing that stood out to me the most was when Pastor Todd said, you got to ask God to basically expand your imagination. And it hit me because I had been kind of resonating on this level of, I didn't really want a certain thing until God told me I could have it. You know, I didn't really have the vision for certain things. And, you know, I had a vision for, you know, stability. I had a vision for me being a good mom, but that wasn't specific enough. You know, that wasn't me really digging deep. So then I started to really think like, okay, what kind of vision do I want to guide my kids? What kind of vision do I want, you know, to set out a path that my kids don't really stray too far from? What type of woman do I have to be in order to attain this type of vision that God has given me to expand my imagination? So I was thinking about that, you know, earlier today. Like that's definitely a part of my prayer, because I didn't, I had a close, you know, family friend when I had my first apartment a while back, and she came in to help me decorate. And she was like, Terry, you don't got no vision. Like you just don't know what you want. And I'm like, no, I don't. I need you to help me find it, you know. But you know, having something to help me, having God to help me find what that vision was, definitely helped me to set my expectation in my day for what this week is going to look like, what this month is going to look, what the end of this month is going to look like, what the next 90 days is going to look like. By the end of the year, I have a vision for that now. So I'm excited about where it's going, and it helps me fill out my plan a little bit better.
Yes. One thing that you said that stood out to me was, what type of woman do I have to be? And Keisha, maybe you can expand on this, but Keisha was talking about this on one of the leadership meetings about her pastor speaking on, focusing on the person that you have to become or the person that God called you to be in order to walk in the vision. And so I love the fact that you are really focusing on that area. Because we always say if you want to be a certain rank, like in terms of rank wise in the business, if you want to be a certain rank, you need to show up as that rank before you ever even are. You have to see it before you even get it. So like see it before you reach it or whatever. So you have to be that person. You have to walk in who you are called to be. And so, Keisha, I don't know if you want to expand on that because I can't remember what you said exactly your pastor said, but that was really good.
Well, she was talking about, often we when we're praying and we're asking for things, we're asking God, what should I be doing? What's best for me? Or what job should I be taking? What will take me to the next level versus who am I? Because when you figure out who I am, that person works in any scenario. And so have you ever seen a person who's just like, they are like a greeter at Walmart, or they're doing carts, or there's this one person who just does this job to somebody that just may seem like not that important of a job, but you could literally work in the drive-through at a fast food restaurant. But if you're functioning and who you are, there's purpose in that. And there will always be some fulfillment in that. And so shifting our prayers and even our journal time to who am I versus what am I, or even what do I want, even though we need to journal about what do I want, because when you know who I am, then you start to know what do I need to say yes to, what things do I really want. But also you can say no matter where I am, whether I'm sitting at distributor or ambassador, I get to be me. And so, I'll use Rachel as an example since she's our ambassador. Although she's evolved, she's been who she is. She was who she was. It just so happened that the rank changed to Ambassador Diamond. And so who you are is more important than your rank, because that's gonna be the thing that just pushes you to that place and can function in any scenario, any place. It's just like purpose. Purpose is not the job. Purpose can be taken into any single place. So if God has you in a place right now where he has you working, that's okay. Your purpose can work there as well. Purpose is something that is transferable and can be used wherever you are. And so really saying, who am I? And when saying, who am I, how can I answer that without answering with my job or what I do? Which if you've never done can be those first couple of days, you can be like, okay, I should have been able to answer this question easy because I spend more time with me than anybody else. You know what I mean? But the question can be very layered, and often it's something you have to do over and over again because we're always becoming. And so how you answer today, although it's layering, you may have discovered new things as you are in that becoming. And so it's never like I've become. I really think life is just a journey of becoming. And it's just being able to realize it, right? It's all there. It's all in us, who we are, who God wants us to be, the abundance inside of us, the purpose, the gifts, everything. It's all there. It's just a matter of it being us being able to reveal it to ourselves.
Thank you, Keisha. That was so good. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll share. So, one thing that I have struggled with, but it's an opportunity to grow in the past, is signing up a bunch of people and just losing them all. And so, yesterday I did a one-on-one power hour with my newbie, and that's something, I guess, in my mind I have felt like, oh, I'm not a good leader. Like, why would anybody like want to follow me? Like, why, like I'm not worthy of leading these people. Like, they shouldn't trust me. And that is just like wrong. It's just wrong, because I have a lot to offer. I have like a lot of, you know, I've been in here for a while. Like I have so much to share with them. And yeah, and I guess it's a fear too, that I'm afraid that I'm gonna like do too much, be too much, share too much, and then they're gonna be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt like this too. You invest so much time in certain people, and then whenever they quit, you're like, oh my gosh, like it's like a jab at your heart, you know? And so yesterday I did a power hour with my newbie, and it was just a one-on-one. It only took an hour, and it was so good. It was so productive. Like we signed up 2 customers on the hour, and she was so excited. Like she was tearing up. She's like, oh my gosh, like she's using this to pay for her school because her mom's a single mom. And so she's like, this is gonna, you know, I'm like so excited. And because she was so excited, I was so excited, you know? And I think that's something that I will continuously need to like work on and grow. But yesterday I feel like was a big win. Even though yesterday I didn't enroll any customers or distributors, like her having that, like having those first wins, like just made me so excited. So yeah.
That's so good, Caitlin. What was, if you can think back, like what was the difference in between you? Was it just your mindset? Was it the way that you worked with this newbie? Was it the one-on-one? If you can think back to the people that you had in the past, to where you said you lost them all the time, to this one right now where you helped her get a win, like what was the shift? Like what was different?
I think it was more about me. Like I need to help them get these customers so I get the fast start. You know, instead of, that's why like I don't know about you guys, but I love this new 4-in-1 program, because the shopping spree is great. Like I shopping spree is awesome. Free products are awesome. But the fact that like they can immediately earn their investment back plus more, like I think that has helped me. And more so like, yeah, I mean, of course, like I would ask them like, what's your goals? I want to help you. But in the back of my mind is like, I need this fast start to pay for, you know, like in the back of my mind, it's there. So I think that has really helped.
That's so good, because when you were talking about the fact of you thinking that you weren't a great leader and all of this jazz, I was coming to tell you that it's not about you. And so I'm glad you made that shift, because it's not about you and your leadership, because you got a whole squad that you can plug them into that can help them, you know, regardless. It's not on you to decide who this business blesses based on what you are not doing. That was a shift that I had. Like, it don't matter if I become an ambassador diamond or not. Who am I not to enroll the next ambassador diamond? Just looking at Rachel's story, the girl that enrolled her is not here, no longer here anymore, but it changed her life completely. So who am I to keep this opportunity from somebody when it can completely change their lives regardless of me? I'm just extending the opportunity for them to have a way to make extra income. I'm not technically here to build their business. I'm technically here to offer them the opportunity. Now, because we do work together, we do end up pouring into each other's businesses because we are a team. But my primary goal and my primary duty is to offer you an opportunity to change your life, regardless of me. So I'm glad you had that shift.
Thank you.
Can I say
My
something?
pleasure.
I wanted to piggyback off of what you just said, and I wanted to bring up something that Rachel had mentioned. I think within my first year, I'm like year and a half in, and it sat with me. But she was basically like checking everybody on some, you know, what the expectation for us is, and we're supposed to enroll our 3 distributors and our 6 loyal customers. So when she was like, if you take a look at how many distributors that you've actually enrolled during your year, you'll find where your gaps and things like that are. And when I did that for myself, complete transparent moment, my first year, I had only enrolled 12 distributors when it should have been way more than that. And then within my 12, I found that one. So then that helped me to learn my law of averages. You know, it helped me to learn like what I need to do in order to find my runner. And when I applied that, I found my runner much quicker, you know, so.
That's so good, Terry, because that is one of the things that we've been talking about is if you know it takes you, well, for me, it takes me 6 to 10 DTs to find a runner. So if I know that no matter about this 4-1, you need to enroll 6 to 10 DTs because you need one runner for the 4-1. And so you have to continue to just do the things, do what it is that, like Robin was saying, do the things that you know makes your business function at the level that you desire to function at. So that's good. Find your number. It takes me 6 to 10 people. So ain't no one distributor because we enroll in foreign friends. No, you need to enroll 6 to 10 DTs so you can find your friend.
I'll go. Okay, so every time I talk on here, I always get really nervous and like bubble guts and all that stuff. Okay. So anyways, I recently just had a baby. This is my 6th child. And so I was just been kind of going through a lot of things, and I found I had postpartum, and like, so it's just been really hard. Just like I'm crying every time, like just all the time. But one thing I can say is how I've been able to get through it is because of this business. I've been in business for 2 years now, but I think about all the mindset shifting that we do in this business and what I learned from it. So I'm able to kind of like cope with it just a little bit easier because it's a battle in the mind, right? And so many days I'm like down and I'm like, man, I want to get out of this. Yes, baby. Stop. Okay. Okay, baby. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry, y'all. So I was thinking about like, man, all I can think about is Sarah Jakes was like, girl, get up. Like, girl, get up. And I kept telling myself, I'm like, get up. Like, you are not like in a dark, like you in a dark place, but you're not in a dark place. Like, you have to do it. Like, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's doing these things for you. Like, get up. And the fact that I have this tool that God blessed me with, right, which is it works vehicle, to get over the hump that is putting me there, you know, like use it to your full advantage. Like, Bree, do you really want it? Like, do you really want to change your life? Do you really want these things that you say you want? Like, you're not acting like it. You're not showing up like it, you know? So it was like a big reality check. And like, and today I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning getting stuff done. Proud of myself, right? Like, what? Like, what? Like, I was so excited, y'all have no idea. I done had 2 cups of coffee, like what? So I say all that to say is just like, if you want it, you just have to go get it. You know, you just have to go get it. And just I'm sorry. To do the things that you need to do, right? Just do the same thing every day. Huh? Yeah, baby. Okay, I'll talk to him in just a minute, okay? All right, thank you. Sorry, y'all. So just doing the things that you do in the business, like just do the things and allow God to do the rest. Like trying to overthink it, because I'm a big overthinker. Like, it's so bad. Like, I'm like picking stuff apart, like it don't even make any sense. So just kind of just doing the things, like do what you can on your little checklist and call it a day and keep going. Okay. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. SDPD. Okay. That's all I got
to say. Thanks, Bree, for sharing. But yeah, it's all about the decision and really having a real talk conversation, because I know that's what happened for me. That's when my shift happened. It was like, girl, either you gonna ish or get off the pod, one of the two. And so what you about to do? And it's just having those conversations, like, you already know what to do. You already know what to do. Are you going to do it? Like, are you? And it's kind of like what I asked last week. Like, are you going to ever make the decision that you are going to do what it takes to get what you say you want? Like, when does the shift happen to where it's like, this is what I want, and come hell or high water, I'm going to get it? So, good, Bree. I'm glad to see you back. I hope to see you stay on this path and really get your breakthrough. And like I said in the comments, 6 kids, where? Where? You look good, girl. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Y'all got trigger fingers on here. I've been trying to unmute since Robin went. But good morning. And yes, 6 kids where, baby. I'm still trying to work out this one from the third one. So okay. But I have it's crazy when you trying to be disobedient and God telling you to say stuff and you like, I don't want to say something because it's embarrassing or whatever. But he just like, it seemed like you're gonna have a panic attack if you don't just talk. So that's how I feel. But last week was rough for me. I felt like I was confused or I didn't have clarity about certain things that God had told me or showed me. So I talk about all the time about becoming a homeowner soon and things like that. So my realtor actually reached out to me about a new lender that she's working with, and she was like, we can go ahead and get you approved now. Wait, I mean, like a little bit off my timeline. So I'm like, God, is this you? Whatever. So I just start getting confused. And Bree, I can understand what you were saying about like, just having the kids and things like that. It do mess up your mental. So I'm a single mom of 3 kids, and most of the, I get a little break with some of the kids, but Dallas, my middle child, I don't. I never have. Like last week was just rough for me, and I just kept breaking down. But anyway, sometimes that we get so close to God, or we just feel like we get so far on our faith walk that we feel like we should be over things. And sometimes that's why I feel like I should have been over things because of how my relationship has grown with God and things like that, to the point where I actually just start holding it in. And I start feeling, I won't say depressed, but I start feeling like kind of overwhelmed, just randomly crying, not really wanting to talk about it with anybody, because in my head, I should be over this. Like things like this shouldn't be bothering me. Like I've been having these kids. Why they just now get on my nerves? I mean, not getting on my nerve, they always get on my nerves. But why are they just now like, making me feel overwhelmed? And then it's just like the enemy will use things that, like Robin, you were sharing about the gratitude. It was just crazy to me. I was just telling my mama, like, I never felt like this. I never felt like, because I've been living with my mom for a while, and me and my kids all share a room. And I never felt no type of way about it. I was grateful to get out of the situation, with my ex-fiance that I was in. So I was happy that I was like, I don't care. We all got to sleep on the couch. I wanted to get out. And then last week, I felt so overwhelmed. I would just like start crying, like, oh, I want to hurry up and get out of this room. Oh, my kids always messing up the living room. That's the only place they got to play. But God was like, girl, it's been like this, like almost a year. So what's the problem? So I feel like the enemy is trying to attack me because I'm steadily, developing and things like that. And I'm just grateful for this circle. I'm grateful for the Money Squad, period, because a lot of things that I've been dealing with or, went through last week, I probably would have folded. But I always hear different people's voices in my head. Like Brittany, I told you, like the Galatians 6:9, every time I feel like I want to quit or give up on something, Galatians 6:9. So when we got off of the Diamond Call Saturday, I just started praising God. I just started praising him because that Bible verse that Rachel shared is basically saying, like, it doesn't matter what it looks like now. It doesn't matter if you're not producing fruit. It doesn't matter if, I'm just putting it in today's term, don't matter if your bank account empty. It don't matter what is going on. God is still who he is. And he said what he said, and his promises will always come true. And so when we got up there, I just started just thanking him for all the things that I felt ungrateful for last week. And I promise you, I was just like a release. The enemy would try to use things that you didn't even feel like was bothering you or didn't bother you to bother you. So I don't know, I hope that helped somebody. So I wasn't gonna unmute. But just be grateful for everything, no matter what your situation looks like. I'm talking about in life, period. Even in the business, yes, definitely, but also just in life, period. You just gotta be grateful. Just change your mind, like, change your perspective, how you looking at things. Like, it's a lot of things y'all said, but I forgot. But the major thing is just the gratitude. And Caitlin, I used to feel like how you felt like I used to always say, I'm just not a good leader. Laura, I used to always say, I just don't feel like I can lead newbies. You know, I need people to come in that's already, you know, I ain't got to really teach them like baby steps, but I done raise kids, not saying that they kids, but I done raise kids from newborn till, you know, no oldest is 9. I can help somebody with baby steps in the business. So just always, anytime you think negative, just turn it around to a positive.
Yes, one of the things that I want to speak on though that you said was feeling like you should be over things or at a certain point because you have such a your relationship has developed with God. One thing I want you to give yourself grace on or just think about is the prophets and the people that were the kings or whatever that were really, really close with God, they still questioned him at sometimes or still, you know, questioned things or had to go into prayer time or had to ask for signs that this was really him speaking. And so you're human. and that is just, I mean, it just is what it is. Like we are, it's basically us needing to see it or needing to know. And it's like, you're not always going to know when it comes to God, or he's only going to show you a piece. He's never going to show you the full thing. He's either going to show you the destination or he's going to show you the steps as they come. And so just knowing that and just, you know, yes, Cass. And even when you go back to, I'm thinking, yeah, it was Elijah and him, you know, asking for like different signs 3 different times. Like, okay, God, so I'm finna lay this coat on the ground. Now you gonna keep the cloak dry, but you're gonna have the grass with dew all around it. God did that. He said, oh, all right, God. All right, now this time, the ground is gonna be dry, but the cloak is gonna be wet. And so, you know, just the fleece. But you know, just really like understanding that it's not necessarily a bad thing to have to question, but you don't want to I'm thinking of a word. I can't get it, but it's okay to question. It's okay to question, but you just want to, you know, talk to him in those moments and know that it's okay. Like just go to him. And if you need further confirmation, he doesn't mind you needing him to confirm things sometimes. So it's okay.
Yeah, that was a good point. And that's why I was talking to my mom the other day. I said, I mean, when it was Jesus' time to go to the cross, he did go to God again, like, you know, are you sure I gotta die for these people? You know, but you know, not my will be done, but yours. So I do, you know, give myself that grace. And I'm like, okay, if it was meant for me to be perfect, just so I went to the next level, why would I need Jesus to die for me?
Yes, sis, that was the word, the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It's the enemy. And like I reached out to Keisha, I'm like, can you pray for clarity? And I love talking to Keisha. Can y'all hear me? It say my internet unstable. Okay, I love talking to Keisha because she gonna tell you how it is. Don't matter if in your feelings or then she gonna be like, oh, okay, she gonna acknowledge how you feel, but then we gonna go on to the next step. She's like, don't let the enemy make you feel like you don't have clarity. And I'm like, that was just like a light bulb went off, like, girl, duh, God already told me this. And I'm letting the enemy trying to distract me by little stuff like, I ain't never felt like this. So that's why I'm grateful for y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna try to sneak in here real quick. I think it's amazing how all of our lives are so different and then we can come in this space and it's so similar. Like as soon as we start talking, everybody's like, oh yes, amen, that was me, because last week was rough for me. And I think I've been working so much on my mind that the enemy was like, let me check out this body. So I was like in the ER and I'm like, Lord, now you saying how I'm gonna be active and doing all this stuff, my leg hurt, my arm hurt and all this stuff. But I just had to remember, and that's, y'all keep saying that, remember what God told you. Almost every person has said it, remember, because I literally had to get into that and get into my word and get into praying and getting into the promises that God has for me. And even in a couple days of doing that, it's like TD Jakes had this thing about internal battles, about battling. It's always going to be a battle between flesh and spirit. And so spirit is saying, you're going to be all right. But my body is saying, who? And so I'm like, I had to really get with myself and just pray for healing and not think the worst about my sicknesses or not think the worst about my ailments and just remember what God said. And it might be in my head, but I know it's true. But I just started feeling better. Like I just started feeling better. And so once I refocused, it's like I had to refocus on exactly what God said for me and remember the promises that he had for me and not look at how I feel right now. And so I always love that anytime that I'm feeling like, okay, we meet with a team, but everybody be going through something so similar. So I appreciate everybody for sharing. And I did have one scripture that had to come back to my mind because I forgot about this. I was looking for the scripture and it's James 1:6, because it says that if we ask something in faith, but we can't waver. Like it literally says that how dare you think that God would continue to bless you if one day you got faith, one day you like, God, I don't know. So I just had to really just stick to that and stick to that message and just keep going, just keep swimming. Pretty much it all comes back to the just keep swimming no matter what everything looks like. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for that.
Yes, Robert, that's so good. He meets you at your level of faith. Point blank period. So wherever your level of faith is that's where he's going to meet you. And so if it's wavering, if it's small, so wherever he's going to meet you at that level. So that's really good. How dare you ask something in faith and then waver, or ask something and then be wavering on your faith and think he's going to come through. The only way to please him is to have faith. And so if you're wavering in your faith, so yeah, that's good.
No, I wasn't going to talk today. I beat you to it. I wasn't going to talk today, but when she was talking about her ailments and how the body and your spiritual goes through the battle. Yesterday, I went to church. This is my second week in a row that I've actually been in a facility in the house of the Lord. And the preacher was talking about how we all are broken and how Jesus uses us in those moments of our brokenness, and how when we think we're put together, he has a way of breaking that all up and showing us that it's not all put together and that we need him to be that glue to put us together, to do the things that he needs for us to do and the things that he has promised that he would do for us. So yeah, that just stuck out to me today.
Yes, absolutely. He reminds me every single day that I still need him.
I wasn't gonna get up here and I wasn't gonna talk, but I'm just now jumping back into business. I've been in the business for going on a year, and April, I tragically lost my grandmother, and it made me not give up on the business because I still believed in the business and the work of the business, but because of the fact I had got so depressed and got in my own mental head, I let everything go. I went from literally having an income to not having an income at all. And it got to the point where I didn't care. So recently it was just like, my kid's father was like, look, something's got to give. He was like, you work a year. You've listened for me for a year telling you that this business is not there. Like, you need to just go get a job, to the point to where you're bringing in an income and now you done drop down to just one loyal customer. He said, he was like, I've watched you work. He was like, I don't know what it is. And I was like, I don't believe anymore. I was like, I was like, I kept questioning, how could this happen? And He said, look at everything that's happened since the loss though. He was like, I literally went after the loss of my grandmother and I replenished our savings account and wasn't thinking, just went out on a limb and replenished everything and just invested it into different things. And he was just like, okay, you done invested it. You've got this here. What are you going to do now? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't have no support. I don't have anyone to believe in me. He said, I'm going to need you to go and start working your business. So before I started coming back into the groups, I was literally just trying to work it by myself. And let me tell y'all trying to work the business by yourself. That is what Brittany, Rachel, everybody is here. And when I finally reached out to Rachel, I cried right in her this message because it was just like, I've had this support. I've had it sitting here in my inbox for the last 6 months. And I just been sitting here like, okay, it's gonna reach out to me. It's not gonna reach out to you because everybody has their own lives. Everybody has other things that they're doing. And it's not that you're on the back burner. It's just the fact that you have to get yourself and you have to believe that at the end of the day, this business is here. So if you having a bad day, reach out. Say, hey, look, this is what's going on. I need help. Like, it don't have to always be business related. I know it's been a couple times that I've reached out to my upline on some personal issues like, hey, this is what's going on. Reach out, y'all. That's all I want to say, because coming back in, I've jumped in and I'm headstrong now. Like, I don't have any customers under me anymore. So I'm jumping in and I'm coming in, fighting and swinging. I've been listening to the MMUs on Rachel's YouTube, and it's just like, okay, mentally being here is a thing. And it's like, you have to, the MMUs really help. And it's like, if you can come. Like, I now I'm starting to build my faith in myself, because it's just like, I didn't have faith in myself. And it's like, you can't work this business if you don't have faith in yourself. You're going to lose everything if you don't believe in yourself. You can reach out to your customer, but if you on a phone call with your customer and you trying to tell this customer about a product, but you really ain't in the mood to talk, that customer's going to feel that you ain't in the mood. So that you automatically just lost the customer. So it's really just getting yourself in order for you to reach out to people, because people pick up some vibes. And I'm pretty sure that in these last 6 months, that is why I done lost every single person that I've had, because they done picked up on the vibe that she ain't there. So that's all I wanted to say, because I really won't gonna talk, but like Brittany said in the comments, I mean, I guess she's gonna make everybody, the conversation's gonna be so hot that she's gonna make everybody talk today.
I said that because this is for your breakthrough. So don't get on here like, oh, I'm getting on Monday meetup, but I'm not gonna talk. That's kind of selfish, because it's like, I'm just going to sit here and suck up what everybody else has to say, but I'm not going to participate or bring anything to the room. And so that's why I said, don't get on here talking about, I ain't going to talk today. You get on here and you say, I'm going to get what I need today. Not, I'm not going to get on, I'm going to get on here and I ain't going to talk. I'm going to get on here and I'm going to get what I need so I can crush this week. So that's the perspective shift that I want you guys to have when it comes to hopping on Monday meetup. It's not a training where you hop in and you just sit on and you listen. You hop in and you participate. That's how you get the biggest rewards from even getting on. Because if you getting on and not really coming to speak, you ain't really getting nothing. And that's from somebody who used to come to the table and didn't say anything. Like, yeah, I got a little bit, but it wasn't until I started to talk that I actually really started to get a breakthrough and overcome things and really be able to move forward and move my feet. And so you're going to come in the room to get what you need. Now, Cass, I know you said you wanted to say something, so go ahead, my friend.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay. I've been trying to jump in. But listen, it's so funny. I am it's like y'all just be all up in people's business, right? Like when y'all be talking and y'all be sharing, and Shanice, I was like, if this girl don't get out my head and if she doesn't get out my business, we are gonna have some problems, because I have been like, I said something to my husband the other day, and I said, I feel like I am going through a slight bit of depression. Like, I feel depressed. And my husband is like, we don't speak depression, right? Like, don't even speak that over your life, because outwardly one would feel like, oh, she confident, she got it, like she all put together. But inwardly, I almost feel like I'm shrinking, right? Like, and even with all of the personal development that I'm pouring in, all of the spiritual development that I'm pouring in, there is still a piece of me that is like, I feel like my relocation back to New York was a failure, right? Like, it was like, you failed, like you left home and you failed, even though I came here for a reason. I came here to help my mom, but this is never where I wanted to be, right? Like, and so it's being in a space where it's like, okay, I'm here. I lived on my own for 20 years. Now I live in my mother's house, and I'm sharing, I'm sharing a home with my mom. And it's like, but the crazy part about it is I'm so close to the end, right? And it's like, I've dealt with it, not fine, but I dealt with it fine for 3 years. And now I feel like I'm at that point where you see the light, and it's like the enemy is coming in to destroy any visions that you have of what is to come, right? Like, and even though I see the visions clearly, it's still that, almost like that, having that self-doubt, right? Like, it's like having that self-doubt, and it's fighting against all of that in the midst of still being a mom, still working a full-time job, being a 3/4 time grandparent, right? Like, so it's all of the things that are being thrown at me. But I will say, coming into this space is always that gut check, right? Like, and it's the thing that is needed and necessary. I know for me, I can't speak for anybody else. I know for me, because it is those moments of self-doubt that I have, those moments of feeling defeated that I have. And even as, being a part of the leadership team, and being able to plug in with the leaders, and just getting poured into, sometimes understand that even that, you still got to fight. Like, even when you're getting poured into and you're pouring into others, it's okay. It's still a fight, right? Like, it's still a fight. And it's a battle that I know that I'm fighting, and I know, as strong as I am, right? Like, because I feel like, listen, I feel like I'm strong. I'm a thug. Like, don't try to know, like, I'm not weak, but it's having those moments of weakness. And it's it's where you should be happy. And when you should be happy, and you should be excited, the enemy definitely will come in and be like, oh, you excited about that? Well, boom, here goes this. Let me give you something else to I am actually, let me give you something else to worry about and to stress about. But what I will say, because again, you got to end it on a positive. There was a point of time where, when, like, I would pay my credit card bills, and it would be like, okay, if the payment is $36, I was paying that. Let me pay the $36. So one, I made my payment. I made it before the date, but I was paying the minimum. Let me tell you the goodness in this business. And this is where you have to take those blessings, right? I said, I made it a mission that I'm paying off my credit cards. My credit cards will be paid off before July of next year. And to be able to say, okay, I got paid. Let me pay my tithes, put money in my savings, and drop $500 on my credit card. I have never, ever been like, let me pay this big chunk on my credit card. And that's a blessing, right? Like, and so going and being thankful. Without this business, I would not have been able to do that. I would not have been able to say, I'm going to pay $500 on that credit card, and boom, I don't have to worry about that until next month. And then next month, I'm going to pay another $500, and that'll be paid off. But I'm still adding money to my savings. I'm still running my auto shipment. I'm still being able to do the things that I need to do in order to run my business and to have that extra, instead of spending it on, I could have said, let me go get me some new shoes or get me an outfit, but being smart and being diligent and still staying focused, because I know what the plan is, right? Like, I know what the plan is. And I have that faith that everything will come to pass. It still is understanding that we are in a battle, like you are in a battle every day, and not to succumb to it. Don't succumb to the enemy, right? Like, you fight against him and use everything that you have in you to just fight through.
Oh, Stephanie, that was so good. You said a lot, okay? And just, Alex, I know you got something that you want to say, but just speaking from this place of living with my mom, like, he isn't attacking me on the way that he's attacking you both, but he's attacking me with the frustration. Like, really the frustration of being there, but then the agitation and the irritation of her being a different person than I am. And so if we think about our parents and their mindset and how they're, we do a lot of work on our mindset, but our parents, they didn't really do that. Like, it was just, I mean, it is what it is. They got older. They really just relied on, the experiences of life and really just what they knew growing up. And so he puts me in a place of irritation and agitation, trying to come in between the relationship between me and my mom. And so it's so crazy. And then he tries to play with my mind, like Robin was saying, with me not being where I desire to be, and making me feel like, oh, I can't get out of this space. Like, it's never going to come. Like, I'm never going to be able to afford to get out of this space. When we know that is a total lie. That is a total lie. And so just recognizing the lies and combating them with the truth. Recognizing the lies and combating them with the truth. So Alex, I'll let you go ahead and speak. I know you had, I know you wanted something to say.
So I wasn't sure if I was going to speak on this, but I'll try to make it quick because I know we're a little bit over. So my business had really slowed down because I slowed down, but I had been spending some time thinking about, stuff that I had done in my business. Like, I had experienced something very traumatic, and then the next day I woke up and I helped my downline with a vendor event. It was another time where I was going to a boot camp that we had, and my aunt was dying, and I ended up missing my train. So I ran to the hospital. I saw her, and now while I'm at the boot camp, I get the text message that she just passed. And it was like, life was happening, and I was still functioning. I was still able to just be like, this is horrible. I'm gonna compartmentalize and just still show up anyway. And so I had a long history of like showing up even when I didn't feel like it and everything was happening. But this year, I could not show up. Like, I had given everything I had. And I ended up going to one of my girlfriend's parties because I'm like, okay, I just need to spend some time with my friends because I've been focused on a lot of other stuff. And we end up talking, like, just, how you just dip away at a party, end up talking. And I just ended up crying. And she was like, I think you're depressed. So I'm just like, yeah, I think I might be too. So I ended up calling a doctor and telling him what was wrong. So he ended up prescribing me for something for anxiety. And then I ended up scheduling an appointment immediately to see a therapist. I talked to the therapist. She gave me an assessment. She was just like, yeah, you have anxiety and you have depression. And I was like, oh, goodness, like I'm thinking to myself, like, that sounds horrible. And I don't want to talk to anybody about this because I almost felt like embarrassed about it. But I'm like,
if people know you and they know how you operate and they already see what you're not doing, then people notice that something is off. So it's not like, you know, you ain't got no reason to be embarrassed. Like people already see. So I went and I tried my prescription and something just changed in my head and I started feeling better. And she's like, I want you to start exercising more. I love walking along the lake. And I wasn't finding pleasure in that anymore. Like the little stuff that I could find pleasure in, I was not finding pleasure in it, which is like what depression is. And I ended up listening to a podcast with like Michelle Obama, and she was talking about how she went through like a low grade depression. I'm like, okay, that's somebody I really respect. And so sometimes you got to see somebody that you really look up to go through something. You like, okay, maybe that's not so bad. So that's it. I decided to go to therapy and I decided to get my prescription and I feel better and I've slowly been getting back to me. So I just wanted to say that. So if y'all struggling with that, definitely check out a therapist, talk to your doctor. It's not something you should be ashamed of. Like get the help that you need because it's been helping me. And talk to your team. Don't just dip out.
Terry, go ahead, and then Cass, go ahead and after Terry.
Okay, so I just wanted to be obedient, and I kept hearing God say, you know, tell them about what recently happened. And I was listening to, where's she at on here? Young lady, her name starts with an S. I can't find it, but I was listening to her, and it just kept ringing in my head. Like this is a faith walk. This whole business is a really good mask for a faith walk, and it is so uncomfortable when at many times when you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're supposed to be doing something and everything around you says, well, this isn't solid, this money might not be solid, or this decision looks crazy. I know how I look to other people, you know, but I know what God told me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand on this and I'll just take the hit of looking crazy. But basically, I had, you know, a lot of issues within my, you know, relationship. And then, you know, I was like, you know what, on the theme of everybody going to their mama house, I went to my mama house. I went to my mama house in North Carolina. And I was there for about 2 months. And I told my mom, because she wanted to help. And I was like, look, I can't tell you exactly how to help me right now. I just need a certain amount of support while I do the things that God told me to do. I'm not sitting on my hands. I am moving and grooving, and it may not look like I'm moving how you think I'm moving, but this is something that I have to define that you've never seen before. So they was like, okay, Terry, I hear you. And every now and again, I would have to remind her because she was, you know, she wanted to help so badly. And I was like, look, I know you want help. You can't help me right now. Just, you know, be understanding, because what I'm going to do is not going to look like anything you've ever seen. I kept having to tell her the same thing. And she's like, all right, I trust you. Like, great. That's all I needed. And probably about maybe 2 weeks later, while I'm doing the thing that looks crazy to everyone, and I had enrolled my kids into the school in North Carolina, and, you know, didn't necessarily wanted to be there, but I'm just like, you know what, we here, we're gonna do what we gotta do, you know, still gotta be a mom, still gotta, you know, plant roots and walk until God tells me to pivot. About 2 weeks later, nope, they finished 1 week of school. And then I had a call come in from this lottery that I was told it was closed, that like the school lotteries that you put your kids in and stuff. I was told the lottery was closed, and they rejected both of my kids. And they hit me the last Wednesday that they were in school, and it was like, hey, we want to offer your daughter a seat. I was like, great. What about my other kid? Because, you know, I got two. And it was like, okay, well, she's number 108 on the list. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take the seat for the other one. I just know you're gonna give me the other one for my other kids. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and just take them both out. And I'm just gonna wait on you to tell me that she got a seat, but I know she got a seat. So I packed up all my stuff, and on Friday, they told me that she had a seat. So both of my kids got a seat in the school that we put in a lottery that they told us that they was already rejected for. And at the time I spent with my mother, I could never take it back. I would totally appreciate it. But when they told us we had to go, they had grandma time. And then that the following day, which was a Sunday, I packed my car and we drove back to Maryland. 4 and something hours later, back to Maryland. Kids had about 6 hours of sleep. Then we drove a long distance to get to this school. We did it. I did the things. I did the things God told me to do. I waited on what God told me to do. I did not just doubt that what I was doing looked unsure. Of course it looked unsure. And I had no idea what was going to happen with this situation, but all I knew was I needed to be a parent. I needed to make this bread, and I needed no distractions, and the distractions was coming from my environment. I needed to change the environment. When I changed the environment, I got my mental together, then I was strong enough to say, Mom, I'm good. I know it looks crazy. I know you want to save me. I got it. And if you trust that God got me, and I trust and believe God, and I'm a Christian woman, then we gonna be good. And she's like, you know what, T, you good. I was like, all right. So when it was time for us to leave, she's like, I've been praying on this, thank God. I said, me too, we in agreement, and now we can drive back to Maryland. So, I don't know if that was even really helpful, but all I wanted to say is this ain't easy. This ain't for the weak. You got to completely give your faith and your trust in what you totally believe that God told you to do. I didn't know that school was there for the kids, but I wouldn't have known it until I drove 4.5 hours to North Carolina to come back to Maryland to know that it was for them, And while I'm still doing that, and I enrolled, some people who was doing phenomenal, still doing the things. And you know what's funny? I didn't really do the amount of hard work I was doing when I was in Maryland. I did little by little while I tried to put back the pieces of my life. And then God still provided. He still took care of certain things, brought back people who told me they were not going to buy from me. They jumped back in my DMs. Hey, you still got those things? I sure do. You want them? You ready? You want a card? Great. There you go. The work that I thought that they were not going to do anything, God was like, let me bring this person back because you put in those seeds already. They're not going to be scorched. They're not going to be choked out. So that's all I got.
All right, so I know past time, and this is gonna be really quick. What I want you guys to do, right? It's just something on my heart and something that I decided to share. So real quick, let's imagine Rachel and Breon announced everybody on here, they're taking us to Aruba, right? They're taking us to Aruba, all expenses paid. What you packing? What you packing? Like for real, like go with me, y'all. What are you packing? What are you putting in your suitcase? Are you bringing sunglasses? You taking a dress? You taking swimsuits, swim shorts? Like swim trunks, you putting sunscreen in there. What are you packing, right? Some of you guys already just started putting stuff in the suitcase with me, okay? If you did it or not, if not, maybe you didn't see yourself going. But just like that, like we can see, and I promise you, I'm definitely saying, go watch the sermon if you haven't seen it from Pastor Ty yesterday. Like we started envisioning ourselves putting stuff in the suitcase because we started seeing ourselves on an island, right? You're not there. You're still sitting in your room. You're still sitting in your house. You're still sitting where you are. You're in your car. You are where you are now, but you started envisioning where you are going because you're going to Aruba. You started already packing, right? You prepared. You started preparing. So literally, I just wanted to 5 bikinis. Literally just say like, y'all take that in that aspect. That 2 seconds, we just took a moment, like, cause we was like, oh, for a second, for a thought, like we was going to Aruba and our ambassador diamonds were taking care of it, right? Just for a second, we literally were going. So take that in everything this week and what you are doing. Like you envision what your kids are behaving. You envision like for your family, you take that vision, write it down, like take a moment. Like it really was on my heart to that. But just take a moment and start, like your body isn't as healthy as you like it. You wake up with aches and pains. Start visioning yourself waking up healthy, bold, like you're excited, like you got the energy, you're not tired. Like start there. it doesn't, it's free for us to do it, y'all. It really is. And God really wants us to do it. He wants us. Stop looking at what you're seeing and what's around you right now and start envisioning where he's taking you. Like, start now. Like, it's free for us to do it. And he really wants us to do it because he's going to take us there. We just got to bet on, like, it's on his dime. It's on his dime. So I know Brittany wanted me to pray us out. So I'm gonna go ahead and, if everybody good, all right, Father God, we come before you in this moment, Lord. Just thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being in the midst, in the valleys. We know that we're in the valley, but Lord, you have called us to the mountaintop. You're already gone before us. You're already there. You just telling us to, like, look forward and look towards it. We know that with your vision that you give us, it gives us energy. We know that the vision that you give us, it eliminates excuses. We know that the vision that you gives us, it regulates who and what we entertain. We know that the vision that you give us illuminates the exits for where places we're not supposed to be and things we're not supposed to be doing or things we're not supposed to be looking and seeing. Lord, we know that vision that you give us, it frustrates the enemy. Lord, we know that the vision that you give us produces endurance, Lord. Endurance, because we know that there's things that are going to come. You said, your word says that the weapons may form, but they will not prosper. So Lord, just in this moment, through everyone on this call and who may watch this on the rebroadcast, Lord, just we ask, Lord, fill us up, pour in your fresh vision for even the smallest thing, because we know that you care about us. You care about the small things that are going on. Like what we feel like we may not be able to share with one another or share with another person. We know we can share with you and that you already know, Lord, and you care. And you just saying, hey, ask me for vision for that. So Lord, I just thank you. I pray that you continue to bless us and pour into us, everyone, every household that is represented on this call or the rebroadcast, anyone who watches this, Lord, that we seek you and we know that it's on you. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. See you guys later. Thanks for hopping on.